Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and I'm about to edit the photos from the real-world review of the Nikon D5 that I took out at the Philadelphia Union game. But before we do that, if you haven't signed up for the Froknows Photo email list, just look for this orange box over on the website, put your name, email address in it, hit send it, and I will send you a free guide to capturing motion in low-light situations. And one more thing, if you haven't subscribed here on YouTube just yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when all of my videos go live so you don't miss any of the free information that's coming out. Let's get into the edit. So here we are in Adobe Lightroom. Now this is Lightroom CC, which is what I use. If you don't have Lightroom CC, go to FroKnowsPhoto.com/CCLR. You can get a free trial to try this out and edit the raw files that I am supplying to you over on the website. So here I've selected 227 photos of the 768 that I took, and I am going to go ahead and do edits, which is what I do with all of my photo shoots. First things first, I want to rename all of these keepers. Actually, I should honestly rename all of the photos. So I'm going to go back here. I'm unstarring the filters, basically. Going to select all on the Mac function F2. I'm going to go ahead here and see what date this was, because I put it over here on the left-hand side, 4/8. So what I'm going to do is 2016 0408 underscore D5, we'll call it Union RWR, Real World Review. Trademark. All right, go ahead and hit OK. It's going to rename all of them quickly. I've also already built one-to-one previews. That's going to allow me to get through these images much quicker because the previews don't have to load, remember. At least hopefully that's the case. So basically I'm going to go in here and start developing. This is just a picture just to have. You never know. This could be used as a background. It could be used for, yeah, it honestly could be used for the background of the photos that Steven will be showing on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and do my edits. I'm not really going to talk, well, maybe I'll talk about the quality of the images. I don't know. I can't tell you that because I don't know yet. I'm just warming it up. Now, the lighting there is okay. It's not on par with, say, a professional high-end stadium like you'd get the Phillies or a professional ball club playing at, but they're not terrible. So this was just taking a picture, obviously, of look how narrow the depth of field with the 600 millimeter f4. More just to do it, but this could be a background. This could be your, if you're into soccer, football, you could go ahead and edit, use this photo for whatever you want. So this is during the day still. It's not completely night. The game had just started. So I'm just going through and doing my tweaks to see what works the best. Warm it up just a smidgen. So this is nice and thick. We have some nice tones here. What is that on my screen? That's on my screen. You can't see it. All right, moving on. So this is a goal was scored early in the game. Early in the game. You could crop it. You could do a bunch of things. I only kept it because it's going to be good for the video. So right now I'm just editing the ones that we call the keepers, or I'm calling the keepers, and not the goalkeeper, but the actual keepers. Going in here and just trying to see what works the best. So we've got that, and then they've got the celebration. Not as sharp as I really want or expect, but again, 600 millimeter f4 all the way across the field. I don't think there's any excuses if it's not it. I'm trying to see what's in. Oh, that guy's actually jumping. That's pretty cool. You're not going to get much tighter than this. Also, contrast, if you go too far, you lose it with these images right now. Now, you know I love contrast, but sometimes you just have to go and keep it muted. There's not much work that needs to be done, honestly, to these. I don't think black and white is going to sell the story very well. I mean, it looks good in black and white, to be honest, but I don't think that's what you're used to seeing. It's not newspaper photography anymore. Oh, this is a great shot. This is one of those really good shots. All right, it looks like I already had it tweaked because I'm probably going to print this one. Look at that. Let's zoom in on this. Nice. The ball, the guys are up in the air. He's grabbing them. Bimbo, bimbo, beambo. I don't even know what that is. How much yellow do we want? I don't want too much. I'm going to pull back right to there. Did I even pull back? Who knows? Just a little bit. So the next couple of images are rapid fire. They're all about the same. So what I'm going to do here is select this one. I'm going to go ahead and hold down the Shift key and click so that they're all selected. I'm going to sync, make sure everything is selected except local adjustments I'm not even doing anyway. I hit synchronize, and then bing, bang, boom, it goes ahead and it tweaks the files to how I wanted it. Now remember, just because you sync multiple files doesn't mean that you still don't need to go in there and tweak each individual file. If lighting changes, if situations change, sometimes you need to tweak them. In this case, they were taken in rapid succession, so not much was going to change. But the times where you sync together shots that were taken in different locations at different times, you may need to go in there and tweak each one separately. All right, it also helps speed up your workflow when you can do that. So this is with the 600mm also. We're going to tighten this up. Get a little bit of the sharpening. How bright do we need? Just a little bit on the bright. We're going to, I don't know, I'm just talking. I feel the need to talk when I make these videos. So this is nice and thick. I know some people are going to sit here and say, well, why don't you crop? Why don't you do that? Personally, I've said it a million times, I'm not a big fan of it. Quality will go down, but if you want to see how you would compose this, if you could shoot it as tight as you really wanted it, you could sit here. You would need like an 800mm, if not more. Like that is the composition that I would look for. That is what you could look for. So would this image hold up cropped? Yeah, I mean online perfectly fine. It would print well probably at almost any size that you need, but you start to see how the imperfections will come out even more. So you see how far it's cropped, but online that's perfectly fine. Most people won't, it won't matter. You know what I mean? Most people don't care, especially online, because you won't see the difference in the quality. You're not going to lose it that much doing it like that, but that's just showing you the composition I would have used if I could have gotten and filled the frame as tight as possible. But you can see how cropping becomes something that becomes a crutch. You're not able to get the shot you want, so you're going to crop it, but you're then losing out on some of the quality that you had. Again, personal preference. Moving on. Okay, this is where I have 35 shots in a row. Not normal. Would I shoot, you know, here I would have already stopped by now. And you can see that they load much quicker because I already have the previews loaded. All right, so we'll start with this one, and let's see what we can do with an edit, and then we'll throw it over the 35 of them and show you how you may need to change your syncing. Like this. Warm it up just a little bit. See, this is just subtle. The file's coming back nicely. Gonna actually unwarm it up. There we go. I still have editing face. I'm like, editing face. It's like guitar face, except it's editing face. My name's Blurry Face and you don't know who I am. All right, let's just live with this. This is pretty thick right now. Again, 600mm filling the frame. You can watch the 5-minute portrait and check out how this was all shot. Okay, first one selected. Gonna go all the way to the end. Sync all of them. So it's gonna go ahead and sync that. I'm gonna go through each one now and see what do I think. See, that's like a little thick on that one. That's good. Next. I printed this one. Hold on. This one. I thought this was one of the better ones. Let's see. Yeah, nice. Nice guy blown out of in the background. So this is thick. This looks really good. Cut his hand off. Again, using a 600mm to follow is not the easiest thing to do. You can see the video to see how I did it. But just blowing through these, they're all pretty good. These aren't the keepers, but look, full frame, head to toe, 600mm, after I've already done a half a dozen shots is pretty insane to do. Oh, and then even that. I'm going to get, oh, I already rated this a 6 because that's just what I'm calling one of the better shots. I still like the other one better, but this is a cool shot as well. Maybe I should print this. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's a really nice shot. That's a wiener. Six Flag, not an actual Six Flags. All right, so being that most of these aren't going to be keepers right here, I'm not going to spend too much time because the whole point is to move through 227 damn photos as quickly as possible. Oh, it looks like I forgot one. Oh, no, I didn't. It's edited. All right. I'm going to edit this just because it's probably good to use during the video. And this is what you do. You go through and you tweak each file. Let's get some thumbs up. You guys love these videos. I know I hear you guys say you like watching me edit my photos. Thumbs up if you do, and don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed yet, just go ahead and hit subscribe down below. That definitely helps out to see you guys doing that. There we go. It's not that good of a shot, but because the guy's falling, I already missed the other action. But we'll keep going. See, here we go. This is Kaka. Kaka! Kaka! And everybody told me that he's making like I looked it up, $6 million. I don't know if it's over a year, but I heard he was one of the premier players in the world, is what they said. So here he is cutting to the net, just trying to get color. See, look, the lights change. As you get further to the sidelines, the lights just don't hit as evenly as you really, really want. It's a little on the green side. I'm Mr. Greenside. What are we at? We're at 6400 ISO right now at 1/2500th of a second. I know people will question that. Yes, I could drop it to 3200 ISO, and then I would be able to drop my shutter speed in half to 1/1250th of a second and have a cleaner ISO. I was just trying to get the faster shutter speed so that things like this happen. The ball freezes. I'm able to get this action as we go through, and this looks like a good shot. That's why it's like this. I wish that there was more light up in his face, to be honest with you. I could go in there. I could go in here, and we could totally like make him brighter. I personally don't want to spend the time to do this, but darn it, it kind of looks good. And I screwed up right there, so now I got to start back over. We'll see what this looks like when we get full size. Without it, with it, much better. Winning. Now, being that I have multiple shots of the same thing and I go ahead and I hit sync, I don't want the local adjustments because his face would be moving across the field and across the frame, and it would cause the adjustments to be in the wrong place. But being that that's the winning shot, I think this is the better shot, just as that guy's going into the slide. I mean, this is all right too, but his face is having a little more light in there. We'll just keep moving on. I would have stopped shooting by now if I wasn't testing out the camera. Just going to put that out there. So now we have the goalie getting away from the healing brush. Pump up that contrast. Look at that green. Boom. Then we add, there's yellow, so I'm pulling back on the yellow just a little bit. Don't want to go too far. Don't want to make his skin look too blue. And there we go. Philadelphia Union. Bimbo. This is all right. Let's see what happens if we can sync these two together, if they'll be similar or not. A little overexposed now, but not too far. I mean, black and white would be cool, but I don't think it lends well to these images. All right, there we go. Next shot. It's not a great shot because I don't have the ball, so I don't really know what's going on, but I liked it because there's a bunch of people in the shot. Lots of action. What did I switch over to? This is a 400 2.8. You know, a 300 would be cool. A 70 to 200 at some points can be cool in close around the net, but that's not going to work all the time. Because you need multiple cameras. To be honest with you, you need multiple cameras when you're out there shooting. I had one D5, so that's what I was using. There we go. And there is no shortcut, guys. A lot of people think that you could use presets and all these plugins that people give away or sell to you to tell you that they can make your photos that much better. Every situation you're in is going to be different. So a preset is only good, like they give you presets here in Lightroom. Be like, oh, okay, let's see what infrared looks like. It's like, give me a break. I mean, yeah, it gets you to a starting point, but I don't want this. I don't want to sit here and click around and be like, what's the best one? By the way, going back into the history, going back to where I had it, I want to do the edits myself. Or you build your own presets that get you close to where you think you should be. I'm okay if you build your own presets. I'm not a big fan of you downloading somebody else's presets and not even tweaking your files and then calling it a day. So here's this guy. He scores. This is a goal. Goal! Anyway, he scored a goal on this shot. You can see what's going on in the face. Oh, look at his face. He's like, ugh, ugh. And then we got this guy. You can come in here and, what are we at? 8,000 ISO. You could come in here and you could brighten it up, brighten his day up just a little bit. And of course, you can go into Photoshop if you really want. We'll see how much this matters to the image. Oh, and then you got to go like all the way to his neck. Make sure it blends in fine. We'll get his ear. And there we go. Let's see what that looks like with it off. There's without and there's with. Looks good. I don't generally get into the masks and everything. I know a lot of people do. Oh, why was I on Iris Enhance? Oh well, I could do Dodge Lighten. I could do that next time. It just is what it is, all right? So you can get in there, you can create your masks. This looks good, winning shot. Well, he scored a goal. And then here he is celebrating his goal. You can see the unevenness of the light in his face. But you have to deal with what you have to deal with. That is the nature of the beast. Nature of the beast. Just tweaking. Did I make it too bright? That's a stop and a third. And it also looks too green. Gonna move in there. There we go. That's much better color. There you go. Congratulations, buddy. You scored a goal, pa. All right, let's sync these up and let's see if these are syncable. Because it's similar places on the field. Yeah, not bad. It gives me a nice little starting point. That's Kaka over there. That's Kaka right there, number 10. Actually, I like it a little thicker. Nice. Color looks good. Looks all right. A little too yellow. But it looks good. I mean, it's a good shot. 400. The 600 would probably been too tight for multiples of these guys. I mean, there's not much you can do. You could brighten up his face and all, but anyway, they're happy. They scored a goal. They're not crying. And then you've got this one. Now I can pull back because I really don't have anybody's face in it, so I can tighten it up even more. But you got all, it's actually a good shot. Would have been better horizontal, to be honest, because then I would have gotten them walking. Look, if it was a horizontal, so this is correcting my own image, I'm not gonna, okay. What I'm saying is it's not gonna be great, but if you really wanted to, crop horizontal, you could do something like that, but you see we're cropping out a lot of the image. It would have been much better if I shot it that way originally, horizontal. It just so happens that these guys look better vertical, and then this would have looked better horizontal. Just something to learn from. When the players are going up the field like this, a nice horizontal group shot would have been better. The shot's still fine, would have been better the other way. So here's a little sequence you can see where they converge and they hit each other and then they go the other way. So they're a little physical. At least nobody, you know what I noticed? There was less crying and rolling on the ground by these guys than I've ever seen in any soccer match in history. They didn't bitch. Maybe there's like a rule about not crying in MLS that's like, if you sit on the field and you cry like a little baby, we're going to fine you or something, which was a fine rule in my book. So you see, if I went too thick with contrast, it crushes the image. I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know if it's the D5. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just think it's got to do with this lighting situation. It is like shooting in a cave. You know, I'm at 8,000 ISO. You can see the noise. 1:1 when you zoom in, you're going to see grain. But this does not mean the camera sucks, and it doesn't mean that your camera sucks. It means that you need to stop zooming in 1:1 and saying that this image is terrible. Let me show you something. Let me show you something real quick. Just real quick. I'm just going to take this quick second to show you this print, okay? You can't tell that there's noise. Even when I sit right here looking at it, is this 1:1? I don't know, it's 1 inch or a centimeter to the print, but this print looks fan-freaking-tastic off of the Canon ProGraph 1000. And that's the thing, this is a 17:22 print, and you don't notice the issues that you notice when you zoom in 1:1. So stop worrying about this stuff. When you look at the files, you're like, that camera sucks. My camera's terrible. It's not terrible. You're just blowing shit up so much. It just pisses me off. Okay, let's sync these all together. I know there's going to be some work to do to them because the lighting is changing as we go through from image to image. We can go in here. We can do this again. We're going to dodge. Dodging is also going to bring out a little bit more of the noise, aka grain. I know people are like, it's not grain, it's digital, it's not film. I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware of that, thank you. I just used the same terms that I used. See, that looks good. It's subtle, but it looks good. Click in here. This print looks, this looks good for what it is, because you don't want to go too far. You go too far, it just starts to bring out issues. And that's not just with this camera, it's going to be with every camera. So we have that. Looks fine. Here, I'm going to sync further from the one I just did anyway. I don't really want to go in there and touch up the face on every one of them because it's just they're in shadow. There's no other light. Now in hockey, you don't run into this issue because what happens is the light reflects off the ice and bounce it back into their faces, which is fill light. Here, the grass just sucks up the light and reflects green back if it's going to reflect anything. All right, so we're going to keep going. Now here's when you're in the cave. This is the sidelines, 10,000 ISO, 1/3200th of a second. Yes, if I was at 5,000 ISO, I would be perfectly fine at 1/2000th-ish of a second. That would be perfectly fine. But that would give me the same exact exposure we're looking at right now. This is just one of those images where he's out of, he's in the shadows, and only the shadow knows. So I'm going to pull back on the yellow. It's just, ugh. I'm just saying ugh because of where it started. Use that key. See, that's where it started. It's a fine exposure, except for there's no light in its damn face. And I don't want to be that far off. It's just that how do you react so quick? Yes, you could shoot aperture priority if you wanted, but that's going to bounce your exposure around and be distracted by everything. You just need to know when they get to the sidelines. I started to do this later in the game. I would tick down the exposure. Actually, this now looks pretty good. I would change my exposure to compensate for the lighting on the sideline. Yeah, this is fine, actually. Yeah, a little too green, though. There we go. Going to go with that. Now we got a couple of the same thing going. This is more taken just because of the rapid fire capability of the camera. I'm just showing that. Tighten that up a little bit too much. Little green. I know I just added the yellow. There, we got rid of some of that green, going to the magenta shift. Just want a little bit of yellow. Yellow. That's a 600. Again, this is all the way. Actually, it looks like he's at midfield. Go ahead, sync these together. This helps your workflow, helps you speed up. Oh, he's looking right at me. See, I don't know if this is good or bad, but it decided to focus on the soccer ball. Now, that's great that it was able to follow focus on the soccer ball, but generally speaking, I don't want to lose focus off the person. That's crazy that it went from the soccer ball. Look, he kicks it, he's in focus. The soccer ball crosses the frame, the ball's in focus. I know on the Canons, there's ways that you can fine-tune, I'm talking about the Canon now, you can fine-tune the focus even better than you could do on the Nikon to say, don't shift off of the subject that's locked in. Nikon gives you some tweaking now, but not as good as what the Canon gives you. This should not shift. I mean, it's great that it shifted and then was able to get the focus back on the guy. That shows that the focus is really good, but I don't want it to shift in the first place most times. All right, 16,000 ISO at 1/3200th of a second. Yes, by the way, I just realized that half of that is 1/1600th of a second. I could be at 8,000 ISO at 1/1600th of a second, and I would get the same exact exposure that you're starting with, and you would get a little cleaner file. But again, testing out the D5, pushing it to a little more of the extreme than you normally would is what I was doing, and that's why the exposure was set where it was, in case anybody was wondering and is going to ask me down in the comments. Be sure to comment down below with questions that you have or concerns or just observations that you would like to share. Remember, keep them good, please. Don't know why I'm off by so much with my exposure. I really need to, yeah, over by a stop. I mean, under by a stop. I need to sit here with the camera and see what the brightness is of the screen, because I do utilize the screen, and I was looking at the histogram slightly, but something's off. It may be that something's off. I need to see if I need to bring the screen brightness down a little bit to be more representative, or bring it up to be more representative of what I need to be seeing. I just need to tweak it. I wish we could get some kind of color calibrator to calibrate our monitor to our camera. That would be ideal. That would be awesome, to be honest with you, if we did have that. Are we halfway through? I don't know. I really hope you guys enjoy these videos. They do, you know, I figure I'm editing. I say this every time. If I'm editing anyway, I might as well record it and talk and use it as content to help you guys learn. I would want to be tighter, but again, it's a 600 f4. You can see what's happening there. So we'll go through here, lop off this edit. Let's tighten it up first. See how the color is different on all angles of the field. Now, I could have done a custom white balance before the game and locked it in so everything was exactly the same. I could sync all the white balances now, but there's so many different parts of the field that I just think everything would be thrown off slightly. I actually like it a little more close to where my exposure was. All right. Bilbo Baggins. Oops. So I just wanted to sync these. It looks like I synced one extra, which is fine. We can bring that guy back by doing that. But you see how we bring the shadows up and you get the noise more prevalent in the out of focus areas? It's actually not that bad. So we'll leave that one at that. This guy's upset because he missed the net. Oh, how could I miss the net so bad? I suck. I'm going to go sit on the sideline. I'm going to go pout in the corner. All right. Keep on moving. This is one of those, what did I have on now? This is where I had the 200 millimeter on, and then action was happening where a 400 would have been better. A 400 definitely would have been better, because ideally you would have wanted this shot to possibly be along the lines of, I'm just looking for my composition. This is a great way to practice your composition, by the way, is to sit here and take a look at the images. See, I left too much headroom. That's on me. I left too little headroom is what I meant. And so you could do something like this. That's what it could have been, and this would hold up extremely well and perfectly fine. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it where I have it. You know, shot the way it was shot. It should be tighter, but that's on me. So these are all about the same, up to here. No, not to there. Excuse me, up to there. We got that one to here. We can sync those. And I'll go back and check them later and tweak them if I need to. They look really thick. They look really good. Really good. Very happy with that. Here we go. Got some action. Got some slide tackling. I know, I'm just hurting myself with that shadow, by the way. I'm aware of that. It's just that it is what it is. There's no light bouncing back in his face. Again, we can go in here and we can bring it back just ever so slightly. You could go over the top and you could be like, oh, look at me, everybody. But we'll just leave it at that subtly. There we go. It's too yellow. And we got a bunch of them because I shot for more shots than I normally would have. But I just wanted to keep shooting as the guy was sliding. So we'll move on to the next one. The headers inside the box. And then the next one, perfectly fine to go ahead and, oops, sync that up. This is a scoring opportunity in front of the net. This guy's like, ah, let me go. Boom. It's a nice scoring opportunity as well. We'll sync all those and we'll keep moving to the next one. Here we got the goalie jumping. Of course, the exposure looks much better. Shouldn't have cut off the feet. What was I with? I was with the 300mm f4 this time. Should have kept my angle down low and not followed the goalkeeper. Should have kept my line straight on the ground, but I didn't. So it's a learning experience to get that right in the future. Look for that. Keep your focus down here. And yes, it's great to get the guy jumping, but it would have been better to not cut off these people's feet and their legs and everything along those lines. Keep that in mind. There we go. I need to sync the rest of them. Oh boy. Oh boy. 12,800. Oh boy. I'm not doing myself any favors here by doing what I just did. It's a good shot, but hi. Yeah, I could do a better job. I just want to keep moving here. Yeah, it's just the lighting. This was just lighting. Man, why am I off by a stop and a half is a definitely a good question, because everything looked fine when I was sitting out there. But I was off. Well, I was off probably because in the good spots on the field, this is fine. Same exposure, yeah. And I even tried to bring down here. I needed to go down more than 1/3200th of a second from 1/4000th of a second. So here I have on the 200 millimeter again. When there's action, should have had a 400 on, would have been much better. There's a bunch of these. We can sync them up. I think this is a better shot. I'm falling. Yep, I called a foul. And then here's the kick. I don't know if they scored on this one or another one, but they scored almost at the end of they scored in extra time. See, I went with a wider shot, 90 millimeters, the 70 to 200, because I wanted to, I just wanted to get more of the action. Could sync all those together. So those are all synced. They look good. Here's another shot. What I have now, I have the 400 on, and they're a little further over on the field. Editing takes time, people. Definitely takes time, as we're almost 40-some minutes into doing this. Ugh. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel as sharp as I want it to feel. I don't know if it was because I had on a different focusing mode than I normally would have, trying the camera out, but I'm going to see if I need to fine-tune the lenses or not. Streaking down the field, this is at 400 millimeters. 600 would have been better. What's this shot? Yeah, same guy. Let's sync those. Those are thick, like really thick. All right, they look fine. Come and get me! I got the ball! There we go. That's with the 400. Horizontal will probably be better than vertical in this case. No, it looks like I took a bunch of shots of this guy. Looks like he got taken down. So this is all rapid fire. Nice. And you can see the light's changing as he gets closer to the center of the field. It just looks better. But when he looks down, you don't get any of that light in the face. just getting rid of some of this magenta. Sorry, getting rid of some of the green. This guy. I edited this one before, so I just went ahead and hit the snapshot to bring it back. He's got man bun. I'm going to go back to this, by the way, because I did make a snapshot to get this color right. So I'm going to sync these. Start with this one. I'm going to select all these. Selecting. Let's sync them. I think these are better shots right here. Yeah. I think this is the one I printed. It's so much. Oh, there's more. There's more I need to sync. Thankfully, that gets me to the end of the images, basically. Excuse me. He went that away. This is where they ended up scoring a goal. I had the 600 millimeter on for the free kick. This is where having like a 70-200 also in the bag, excuse me, would have been a good option. Sorry, I had it in the bag. I just meant an extra body. This is just because I had the 600 on for the free kick. This is, I should have switched. Lenses, should have done it. But this could be used for something. There's the goal. Not much of a shot for the goal, but actually the goalie's here in the shot, so who knows, maybe that means something. Just would have been better if I had the action, but that's the two-body thing. Editing is time-consuming, right? You should be getting paid. Don't forget, you are getting paid for your time. Make sure that you build in enough money for your editing process, because that is your editing. You get paid for this. At least you should. It's part of your time. It's not just a photo shoot that you do. I don't even know why I picked this picture, but we'll use it. So don't forget that. When you're figuring out what to charge people, you need to determine how much time will you edit. Also, when you're getting paid, you don't want to overshoot, because if you're overshooting, that means you have to spend more time editing, which then is costing you money. So you got to remember that. There we go. Then we got, that's a bad drum picture. Victory! You know who that looks like, right? Johnny Drama. Not this guy, the next guy. This guy bangs on this freaking drum all freaking game. It's like doom, doom. You'll probably heard it in the video. But this guy reminds me of Johnny Drama. Tighten that up. Can't forget about the stands. There's always stuff going on in the crowd. And this was right after the goal, so they were definitely happy. Then they light off some smoke bombs. So I can sync this with this. These guys are happy. Like, oh, I love you. oh, and then they start singing their song, whatever their song is, like, we are the Union, we are the Union, no times for the other teams. I don't know what they sing. But they were super happy. They really get into their soccer. That's why they're called soccer fanatics. And then there's this guy, he lights a smoke bomb, and he's like, oh, they said, let there be smoke, and there was smoke. It was all, oh, duh. See, D. Hayes is, I haven't even gone to D. Hayes because it is in the wrong place. Why is D. Hayes hidden down here? This is if you want more smoke or if you want to cut through the smoke. This is interesting because maybe I want it to seem like there's more smoke, but see how we're cutting through the smoke with the D. Hayes? Smart. But I forgot about it because it's buried in the bottom of the program. They need to move it up to here, up to here. Right here, I wish I could just move it. I like to move it. It would be so much better if I could just move it. So they light off the smoke bombs, they scream, they shout, they let it all out. Okay, we are the Union. I don't really need to spend too much time on this one. I'm focused in on the flag, not on the girl. And then this guy, he's all cheery because they wave a flag. I don't want to go black and white. I really don't. I'm going to warm it up, though. Okay, this guy thinks he's number one. Get rid of some of that glowy stuff on his head. Boom. What are we at? 6400 ISO. All right, I'm just going to sync the last one just to get closer because I don't feel like doing any more after editing for 40 straight minutes for you guys. Actually, almost, how long? Almost 50 minutes now. So that's it. That's editing how many? 227 pictures using the sync button. This is what editing is. It takes time, and I just feel like I should share it with you, so don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube, like this up, leave comments down below, questions, concerns, thoughts. Do you want me to keep doing this? I always ask that, but I'm going to keep doing it anyway. I hope you enjoy it because I'm editing. I might as well film it. It just takes a little bit more time because I have to edit it up, but whatever, that's for me to figure out. If you haven't signed up for the Fronos Photo email list, please go over to the website, look for the orange box, put your name, email address in it, hit send it, and I will send you a free guide to capturing motion in low light situations, kind of similar to what this would be. You're going to figure out how to do that in this free guide that I give you for signing up for my email list. If you want to check out the 5-minute portrait, go ahead, check out the 5-minute portrait. It's a good video that Steven's still editing that I haven't seen, but I'll tell you it's a good video right now. It's a lot of fun to make, and we will call it a day right there. Thank you guys. Oh, if you haven't downloaded some of the raw files, go over to the website. You can also see the full res exports of all 227 of these. But if you do not have Adobe Lightroom yet, please go download a free trial at fronosPhoto.com/CCLR. You can get a free trial of Lightroom to check it out for yourself. Edit the raw files that I give you, see if you like it. I personally use the Creative Cloud Photo Bundle. It's $9.99 a month. That gives me access to the full app and the full program, and that's what I use. Hope to talk to you soon. Jared Polin, fronosphoto.com. See ya.